serious? Wait.
Mama, you're gonna be an abuela.
Really schloony days here for the spring game, but it's spring in college football, and in college football vernacular, that means one thing, an opportunity to strap on the pads 15 times and make your best effort to take that gigantic step away from mediocrity towards FBS relevance. The last time the Eagles engaged in competition was December 26, 2016, which was 117 days ago, in the Garden Spot of Michigan, yes, Detroit. The big win over Big Ten and former ACC opponent rival Maryland got Boston College their 7th win. But by all accounts, the parabolic curve has pitched favorably. There are now 133 days till kickoff at the Husky Stadium in Northern Illinois, and by all accounts, they're halfway point of the preparation for the 2017 season. Much has happened and much has to happen. I know this is not the voice of John Meter-Perrell, but this is his loyal assistant. It's wingman Pete Cronin, meets off chasing his dream, calling an arena football game down in Tampa. He sends his regards, but we remember Wally Pipp. More on him later. In Meat's absence, I'm joined by the president and of the local Hope Solo fan club, none other than the former BC quarterback and the intrepid sideline reporter, Scott Mutrin. Mute, welcome aboard, buddy.
Pete, great to be here. We do miss Meter-Perrell. And I'm sure, I'm sure as the game goes on, we may have some quips. It's always fun to have someone to pick on, and since he's not here, I guess we're going to have to pick on each other.
Well, this is an interesting setup here. They've got one-on-one, one offense against one defense. Leading the offense right now, Darius Wade over quarterback. You get a 2 tight end set. We're going to see a lot of that in this upcoming season. One back. That's bread and butter, a little slant play right out of the box. John Hilliman, ball carrier. The interesting rule adjustment here this afternoon. We're going to get along. We can get into the details a little bit later, but this is 90%. No full tackle, no live tackle. So you're at 100% of contact between the tackles, but we won't see any live tackling. Once again, Wade over the ball, a little end sweep.
Jeff Smith on the carry there. BC, the Maroon team, Darius Wade leading the charge for the Maroon team. We're going to see a little tempo from Boston College, huddling on the ball. The Maroon team, moving towards the ComAv end zone here. The goal team has stopped them. It's 3rd and 5 right now for Maroon. Darius Wade in the shotgun. Darius leading the first team out, and a lot of people talking about the quarterback competition. Wade back over the middle finds Mr. Reliable, Tommy Sweeney, 89. Tommy Sweeney really emerged as the year went on last year as a viable target. He's 6'5", big target in the middle of the field, and has really shown some promise and is one of the big NFL names, I guess you would say, that BC has on the offensive side. 4th and short for the Eagles. They're on the ball here looking to go for it on the 40-yard line. Darius hands off to John Hillman with a spin in the backfield, and he gets the first down. And because it's thud, John Hillman probably could have broke that tackle, but gets a nice 5-yard gain to move the sticks, which is a good sign for BC to start off, Pete.
Well, a good sign of John Hillman. We heard he's reemerged back to his old form, running downhill very aggressively. I don't think you'd see Boston College go for it in 4th and 1 at the minus 42-yard line in the regular season. So spring ball thinking prevails.
Right, zone read give to Damon Jones with a nice run up the middle for 10 yards there. 10-yard gain is a good explosion through the hole. Offensive line has been a big point of emphasis this spring, Pete. We've heard a lot and talked a lot about the maturation of the offensive line for BC. Justin Fye's group finally has some depth. John Baker didn't get a chance to play, the senior and captain, but there's been a lot of other guys that have stepped up this spring on the offensive line. Darius Wade with the play-action fake, coming to his left, finds Tommy Sweeney again for a nice big gain, 17-yard gain down the left sideline. BC going to go tempo again. Good to see Darius Wade there. They're getting him out of the pocket. He's athletic. He's smaller than Patrick Tolles, maybe a little smoother. Patrick Tolles is a very good athlete for BC, but Darius Wade a little more mobility and a little more side-to-side lateral movement. Wade with the handoff, Davon Jones, another big gain down the left side. It looks like about 7 or 8 yard gain. Offense is moving the ball pretty well here for the Maroon team, Pete, to start.
And keep in mind, this is the number 1 defense, the goal defense. So they're getting good fits up front, good push off the ball. And again, the tempo is probably the late-breaking news. The Eagles broke that out last year against Maryland in the bowl game, and it's clear that Steve Addazio is going to go to that up-paced offense this coming season.
Wade with the handoff to Daylon Jones up the middle for no gain. Maybe even a loss of 2 there. Tried to test the right side there, and the BC defense was up to task there. Noah Merritt and Zach Allen with a nice play in the backfield. BC continuing to use tempo. 3-by-1 set here as Darius Wade lines up with a little mini roll, looking to his right, throws across his body, incomplete, intended for Ben Glines. Ben Glines out of Cincinnati, St. Xavier, good player. Missed his freshman year a couple years ago with an injury. Didn't get much playing time last year, but has been a name that you hear a lot in the program, that he had a really good spring, catching the ball, getting a lot of reps. Very athletic guy, good. I love those Ohio players, as you say, but Ben Glines is a name that is really, you heard a lot of the coaches mention, that stood out in the spring. Wade in the shotgun, getting the snap here on 3rd and long. Goes, you don't see that very often. Throw to John Hilleman out of the backfield, hence the comment. Short gain for John Hilleman, 6 yards. Nice throw in traffic by Darius Wade, and a nice catch by Hillman. Haven't seen that in 3 years with him.
Couple of things about the way the evolution of Steve Adazio's thinking. They really believe they've got some a boost of speed at wide receiver, and then, of course, it's a delivery mechanism. You got a quarterback who can throw it. You got to have a receiver who can catch it to take advantage of that speed. But they're expecting big improvements at the wide receiver position and the passing game in general going into the season.
BC goes for it on 4th down. Darius Wade's pass knocked down by Mr. All-American Harold Landry. Harold Landry coming back for his senior season. A lot of big things expected for Harold Landry. BC's excited to have him back. Dynamic presence, pass rush presence. It's good to have him back. We're going to hear a lot from him, I'm sure, in this upcoming season, but a good start for Harold Landry, making a big play on 4th down, knocking the 4th down attempt down by Darius Wade. As the goal team takes over, they're going to be led by Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown taking over here, redshirt freshman at quarterback at the helm, under center, a little handoff, a little slant play. Bread and butter, soften up that inside. And I did not get an eye on the ball carrier. Let's see if they break the huddle again.
That's going to be Richard Wilson on the carry right there, who's finally going to get a chance to get some reps now with Tyler Rouse and Miles Willis graduated. You're going to see a lot of Richard Wilson, which you guys have liked with his physical presence running the football.
Well, they've got running backs. The trouble is when you get 4 or 5 running backs who are all pretty reliable. Hillman, obviously, the lead dog here. But, Steve Adazio has shown in the past he's not afraid to play the hot hand. He'll give all these guys touches, and if anybody's going to get anything going, he'll play. He'll give them he'll let them lug it. Got a shotgun here, back out of the backfield, looking downfield, got a receiver open. Now you got Anthony Brown, 2 passes, 2 skippers. He doesn't seem to be settled down at this point. 4th down, they're going to give the ball away, punt the ball.
Looked like there for the Maroon team on defense was able to get some pressure up the middle there. Jack Kenny getting a little inside heat. Anthony Brown didn't really get a chance to step into that throw on 3rd and 8. But that's part of these. These are live game reps. It's not exactly full game speed, but these are things that Anthony Brown needs to get. He had a year where he sits out, and now you're going to get some the game moves faster than practice, Pete, right? They always talk about that. Right. And now that you get some live game reps here, these are invaluable for a young quarterback like Anthony Brown.
But even this is slow compared to the real game.
There's a punt by Mike Knoll, your MVP last year, Pete. I remember you talking about that.
You didn't like that Mike Knoll was doing all the kicking duties.
Fair catch by Hamp Cheevers at midfield. Yeah. The Maroon team will take over here, and Anthony Brown's doing some double duty. He's going to start for the Maroon team coming on this team.
The quarterbacks are all wearing black today, and I see you donning the black jersey.
That's right. That means don't hit us, we're soft. But the toughest guys on the field, that is true, but we don't need to get hit during the spring game.
Well, you touched on the competition at quarterback, and you've got Darius Wade, who was really the guy who had the job until he got injured against Florida State a couple of years ago. And now with Anthony Brown emerging, it really is a legitimate quarterback competition through the spring, and it was neck and neck. In that particular case, you got a quarterback, Anthony Brown rolling right, made a defender miss, rolled right, find a receiver, dragging along the line of scrimmage.
You're going to get a holding here on the end of the line of scrimmage. First down, BC goes play action with Anthony Brown coming to his right. Does a nice job getting Zach Allen off his feet and breaking outside the pocket. But you get a holding call on the perimeter. He does a nice job checking the ball down. BC comes out now 5 wides, 1st and 20. Anthony Brown in the shotgun. This is a formation you didn't see a lot for BC, and probably because they had too many guys on the field. But now snap to Anthony Brown on 1st and 20, throws it underneath to Tommy Sweeney, And, nice release by Anthony Brown. The ball comes off his hand very nicely. I talk about the idiosyncrasies of playing the quarterback position, and sometimes guys can have strong arms, but the way in which the ball comes off the hand makes it a catchable ball. Anthony Brown has a nice flick. The ball comes out with a nice pace to it. He gets something to move the sticks a little bit, which is always positive after a short, after you get a holding penalty. Now you're going 2nd and 14 instead of 2nd and 20. BC 2-by-2 set. Anthony Brown takes the snap, throws into the flat. Nice catch by Nolan Borgerson to gain a nice 8-yard gain there, it looks like, Pete. So now you're going to get 3rd and 5. And this is a nice thing for a young quarterback. He takes 1st and 20, throws the ball underneath, doesn't try to do too much. Now you have a convertible 3rd down here. You got 3rd and 5 for the Eagles. BC goes 3-by-1 set, hand off to Davon Jones off the right side, and he's stymied, to use a meter per L term, by Zach Allen. And Zach Allen and Ty Schwab. Ty Schwab was a big year last year for BC on the defensive end, led the team in tackles.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the offense, but frankly, the defense it's almost matter of fact. They expect them to be very good again, and it's been a couple of years here with the new coaching staff, and they had to break a lot of habits they didn't like.
Ooh, 4th and 2. Gold team brings the blitz, goes all out blitz. Offensive line doesn't pick it up for the Maroon team, so Anthony Brown sacked. They're going to turn the ball over on downs, and that's a staple for the BC defense over the years, bringing the heat. And nice play. Kevin Bletzer comes through, and Ty Schwab come through untouched, and Anthony Brown didn't have a chance to really make a play there.
Looked like jailbreak at Sing Sing.
Yeah, that's the thing. The spring game is kind of designed for the offense to succeed. You know what I mean? You want to have, because especially when you go thud and do some of these other things, it's not as physical down to the ground.
Well,
but the defense doesn't like that, so they like to get a couple of those things, and usually you expect them to play pretty vanilla. But apparently, apparently the Gold coaching staff said we're going to bring some heat now. We're not going to just take it lying down.
I'll play nice. But see, another part of this too is this is a film that will be exchanged with their first opponent, Northern Illinois. They will get a look at this thing. So, although you want to showcase some of the things you're going to do next year, you just don't want to show too much.
Right. Gold team takes over, and Darius Wade has switched as they flip-flop the first series. Darius Wade running the second team with the Gold team. Hands it off to Richard Wilson for a loss of 2. Now they go play action into the flat. Darius Wade hits Joey Vitello. I mean, doesn't that sound like a fullback name right there, Joey Vitello? You see that in the flat. Now you got 3rd and 5 for the Eagles as they continue to run tempo here with Darius Wade leading the Gold team.
Joey Vitello also makes a mean sandwich.
3rd and 5 for the Eagles. In motion comes Elijah Robinson. Snap to Wade in the shotgun. Checks it down underneath. Completion to Thad Smith. And I think it's right on the sticks. Yeah, they're moving the sticks. That's a 1st down. Nice completion by Darius Wade. Moving the sticks. Sometimes it's the little simple plays. Just move the sticks. Stay on the field for offense. Build some consistency and develop some rhythm.
Wade, in this particular case, he's running across the field. Those are his reads. Going back to the running game.
Hand off to Travis Levy. Travis Levy off the left side for a short gain of 1.
Although Steve Adagio has already said that they're very interested in being much more aggressive in the passing game, feels like he has a few more weapons at tight end, wide receiver, and quarterback. They think the quarterback position is going to be much improved, but he wants to be careful not to get away from his fundamental, his roots, which is being a physical downhill running team.
2nd and long. Wade underneath the center takes the snap. Oh, there's the old counter tray. Nice cut by Travis Levy to get outside and break contain there. Gets 4 yards on the counter, taking it back, but looking like it's going to come back with a hold on the offense for the Gold team.
It's a lot of penalties here. I'm surprised. And the thing of it is, it's not like this is the first time referees have been on campus. They bring the refs to practice every day. As you said, 15 practices. That's a spring. That's what you get. This is considered one of the practices. And there's a lot of all kinds of rules and regulations around, and it's primarily geared towards player safety. Right.
2nd and 19 for the Gold team. Darius Wade in the shotgun takes the snap. Little heat up the middle. Oh, great play by Hamp Cheevers. Hamp Cheevers has had a big spring for Boston College. They're going to need some help in the secondary. They've lost a couple good players out there in the last 2 years. Hamp Cheever's name has stood out. He contributed a little last year, but that going from when you start out as a young guy coming out, now you're a sophomore. That year, the difference between freshman and sophomore year is a big jump, and Hamp Cheevers looks to have done that this spring. Wade back to pass on 3rd and 19, steps up as he sees some pressure, is going to run it and get tackled for a short gain. BC gets some heat up there, four-man rush, and not a lot to do on 3rd and 19, Pete. When you're looking in the play call sheet, what do you got for 3rd and 19?
Try to get a couple.
Right.
It's in this particular case, because of field position, you're in the plus, the plus 43-yard line. Now you're going to get a look at special teams. Maybe they're going to try to pooch punt this thing in the corner, kick it, and play the field position game.
Your MVP coming up to punt this one again, it looks like. Mike Knoll in the punt formation on the 43-yard line.
You're going to rub that in, aren't you?
I'm never going to let you forget calling the kicker the MVP. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. It sticks with me.
Plays 3 positions. There he is, little end-over-end kick. Fair catch cut. Good job inside the 10-yard line, creating the long field. Little statistical information. Field position, starting possession is direct correlations to where you start your possession and the probability of scoring points. That's why the 20-yard line is a magic number. The 10-yard line is a magic number. And the emphasis on special teams to create the long field for opponents and to create the short field for your own team, it reaps dividends over the course of the season. In this particular case, the ball was kicked inside the 10-yard line. Of course, because it is a spring game, it's going to come out to the 40. But that would have been a very good play for the Boston College special teams.
Darius Wade now back leading the Maroon team. 1st and 10 on the 40. BC in the shotgun. Wade takes the snap. Wide sweep, jet sweep to John Hilleman. Run out of bounds for a 2-yard loss. That was a specialty play of Miles Willis when he was here. Didn't see John Hillman run that play a lot. A lot of talk of John Hillman having a really good spring. Kind of back to his old self where he was before he broke his foot. Seeing some physicality running downhill, getting his shoulder square. BC 2x2 formation with toss to the left. John Hillman running downhill with some room. Getting a nice block. Nice block on the perimeter by Aaron Montero to get a nice 8-yard gain to give 3rd and 5 for the Eagles here on offense.
Yeah, Hilleman's the injuries obviously affect this running style. Pretty clear he come out of this spring, and he's a big slimmed he looked a little chunky last year.
Yeah, he's got some big old legs.
He slimmed down this spring, and it's showing up in his productivity.
3rd and 5, drop back, crossing route. Darius Wade completes a pass underneath to Kobe White. Kobe White, a youngster, redshirt freshman, one of those guys that you're able to when you get that opportunity to redshirt a guy, get him some experience, and now you have some youth here and be able to get him out in the field, keep him in the program for 5 years. This is ideally now as you're talking into Steve Adazio's 5th year.
Right. These
are all his guys here. Now you're finally able to get some depth here. You're able to develop some kids, get them to stay, not having to play kids as true freshmen, give them the year to sit out, kind of learn the whole game and be able to mature a little bit.
My MVP's back on the field.
The Eagles back to punt. Mike Knoll with a low line drive kick to Hamp Cheevers, who fair catches it at the 20-yard line.
It's interesting, too, Mute.
37-yard punt by Mike Knoll.
To your point, this is a full array of Steve Adazio recruited kids. And the younger kids are beginning to displace some of the upperclassmen. Some people you would expect to emerge in their 4th and 5th year are being displaced by guys who are freshmen and sophomores, redshirt freshmen and sophomores, which is an indication that he's improving his stock.
And the good thing is now offensive line-wise is a perfect example of this. 2 years ago, they didn't have enough offensive linemen just to have one team pretty much to play in this game. Now, Justin Fry is able to have some younger guys, able to redshirt some guys, and then you get some guys with like Shane Leonard who get some experience to be able to play. Anthony Brown leading the goal team out, play action fake, trying to hit a big strike over to Andrew Strader streaking down the middle of the field, and a little behind him there. Anthony Brown looks, he does throw the ball all right. It's got some good spin on it. He just missed the throw. And like with these live game reps, these are only going to get better. You can hope, but just looks a little bit unsure. Maybe it's a little faster. Don't doubt that there's some nerves here because you definitely want to perform here because you got some bragging rights amongst your teammates.
Your receiver also had his hands on the ball, could have made a play.
Stretch play. Stretch play to Travis Levy on 2nd and 10. He gains a short gain there, 1, maybe 2 yards to give BC the goal team 3rd and long. Anthony Brown getting the signals from the sideline here. BC still has played this game with a lot of tempo. Haven't seen him in the traditional huddle, which you've normally seen from BC in the past. Has been a very fast-paced game here. Anthony Brown in the shotgun, 5 wide receivers, gets the snap, 4-man rush. Breaks contained, coming to his right. He's going to run with it and could be close to a first down. If it was real game, I think he probably gets it. With the refs calling thud and our quarterbacks being valuable commodities, we don't want them touched, hurt, or prodded in any way, Pete.
Understood. I understand. And, in fact, the injury bug had really bitten Boston College. They are averaging a surgery a week throughout the spring, and which is not a good.
Good if you're an orthopedic doctor, bad if you're a football coach, I imagine.
So they've gone to great lengths to try to mitigate the injury bug.
BC gets the first down there. They give it to him. Anthony Brown hands off to Richard Wilson on the right side there. No gain there, or maybe even a short loss to create 2nd and 11 for the Eagles, the gold team. Gold team lining up here, continuing to go without a huddle. Richard Wilson in the backfield now for the Eagles. Anthony Brown leading them out. Brown under center here. Play action fake. Gets a chance to throw it downfield. Throws a strike down the field to Thad Smith. Deep in cut. 15-yard gain. Nice throw by the youngster, Anthony Brown from New Jersey. Delivers it over a defensive back and in a tight window. Nice throws to see guys making. Throwing it over guys and finding windows, not just wide open guys. Quick tempo. Toss to the right here. Wilson on the perimeter. Gets a little daylight outside for a short gain, 1 or 2.
Good throw downfield. Took a big bite of the apple on the previous play, and it really was timed out quite well. Unfortunately for the defensive back, he didn't really run through the receiver, and the receiver ends up making a good catch.
Brown with the play action fake. Dumps it down to fullback. Joey Vitelio making another play there. Hey-oh,
Joey's
fullback.
Joey's got a wide body, man. That's a big kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of Italian chicken cutlets behind those pads when he's getting downfield. Brown with the handoff. Travis Levy with a short gain on 3rd and 4. Probably gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe 1, but since it's the spring game, this goal team's going to go for it here. 4th down on the 47-yard line of the Maroon team. 4th and 2 for the gold team here as they line up. Anthony Brown under center, 2-by-2 formation, quarterback sneak, and they're probably going to give it to him because of the spring game. Although,
well, you can't tackle. Come on, what? Are you kidding me?
It should have been blown dead technically as soon as he took the snap, but
everybody stops. And it's almost
whatever. First down, Pete. It's a first down.
Hey, as you said, it's about showing off your offense.
That's right. And Anthony Brown getting a nice little drive here for the gold team. First and 10 for the gold team on the 43-yard line, heading in to the Maroon end zone, working towards the Beacon Street side of the field. Thad Smith in motion, play action fake by Brown, looking to hit it up top, hit a big play. He's got Elijah Robinson deep off his fingertips in the end zone. Nice throw. First time BC's really taken a shot on offense. It was a good throw. Elijah Robinson had a chance to make a play there. Would like to see receivers get their hands up too soon there. Instead, take that one more step and then extend your hands. And I think he got a touchdown there for the Eagles. Nice throw by Brown. Turned that ball over nicely. A lot of nice spin there, Pete.
Everything to this point has been horizontal reads. That's the first vertical read over the top. It goes to show him can make plays, got to make the catch.
Draw play to Travis Levy on 2nd and 10. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, creating 3rd and 10 for the gold team on the 44-yard line. Anthony Brown looking okay, looking like he's maybe getting a little settled here in this drive. A couple nice completions and a good throw that was dropped by Elijah Robinson there. 3rd and 10 and 5 wide. Brown takes the snap in the shotgun, hangs in the pocket, delivers one down the field that is intercepted. Intercepted by your favorite, Pete, Atem Natang with the interception. Nice catch off the deflection. Looked like Aiden Haggerty, 17 for the goal team, had a chance to make a play on that. What was that? Is that Aiden?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's 15. But Troy Flutie with a chance to make a play on that, tips off his fingers. Mr. Natang with the interception.
Kept the ball alive and trying to make the catch, and it kept the ball alive good enough, long enough so the defense could make the catch.
Maroon team takes over on their own 12-yard line, coming out with Darius Wade behind center. Shane Leonard is the guy, because John Baker hasn't practiced this spring, has gotten a lot of valuable time and reps, has looked pretty good. You've heard some good things about him, but he's doing well here with the Maroon team up to start so far. Wade under center. In motion is Nolan Borgerson. Play action fake. Wade going up top. Hit, said Mr. Borgensen in down the middle of the field for a nice chunk play, 17-yard play.
Well, they're clear that Boston College, up-tempo, going to throw the ball a lot more. You get a different cast of characters now. We mentioned it earlier, Steve Adagio, a lot of confidence in his receivers, much more confidence in tight ends. And, we had a chalk talk earlier this morning, and tight end position came up in conversation. And it boils down to one thing. They get tight ends who can catch the ball.
And a lot of them, Pete, to say the truth. Short gain on first down by Damon Jones. Jeff Smith in the Wildcat getting a 5-yard gain here to make 3rd and 2. Something you saw a lot last year with the BC offense. Scott Loeffler, and as the year went on, was able to use a lot more personnel groups and get a lot more guys different snaps and different looks. 3rd and 2 for the Eagles. BC in 5 wide. Darius Wade in the shotgun. Ball on the 40. Snap to Wade. Short drop. Oh, should be interference on Mr. Bletzer.
Well, you got away with it.
Away with it?
He did get away with it.
Kevin Bletzer with a nice play then, since it's not called interference. Nice play by Kevin Bletzer to break up
flag out, but that's okay.
To break up the short slant route intended for Nolan Borgerson on 3rd and short. Kevin Bletzer with a nice play to get his hand in and deflect that ball. We thought he got there a little early, but apparently the refs disagreed, which is not the first time they disagreed with us, Pete. 4th down, Mr. MVP out to punt here for the Eagles on their for the Maroon team. Maroon team kicking from their own 40 towards the ComAv garage.
It's a heavy crown, the MVP.
It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone could do it, as we talked about.
Turn that one over. Nice, beautiful bloomer, as they say, in the Pink Panther.
I like that. 40-yard punt, no return for Mr. MVP. Mike Knoll with a nice punt. He's shown a different array of punts. You've seen the pooch punt. I hate to talk about kickers more than I have to, but he's shown a nice pooch punt, a couple line drives, and then there you got the one nice high arcing punt, not able to return it. When you're facing teams in the ACC with some dynamic kick return games, you got to be able to punt different styles and limit that return game so they can't increase field position, which for a team like BC, field position is an important thing, Pete.
It's huge for this team in terms of their ability to produce points and create long fields for pretty dynamic offenses. You look at that, the ACC, you get a national championship winner on your schedule. You've got Florida State on your schedule. You got Louisville, who had really made an impact last year in your schedule, all in your division. So they're very, very challenging. And you talk to Rich Gunnell, wide receivers coach, and said, yeah, you've seen great improvement at the wide receiver position in terms of speed. He goes, yeah, but we're not going to run by anybody in our conference.
Darius Wade with a short pass attempt to Richard Wilson, goes through his hands on a nice little angle route coming out of the backfield. 2nd and 10, Darius Wade with some heat, throws under pressure, trying to hit Thad Smith with a quick slant. Tough jailbreak at Sing Sing, as you like to say, Pete. But a good thing to see for the quarterback, being able to stand in there and take that hit and deliver the ball and not take a sack or turn the ball over. Good job by Darius Wade to show some toughness in there and deliver the ball when he's got some heat. Unfortunately, a little too high for Thad Smith. 3rd and 10 for the Gold team. Wade takes the snap, looks over the field, moves a little to his left, drops it off to Joey Vitello, Mr. Popular today. That's his 3rd catch coming out of the backfield. I don't think it's going to be enough to get the first down. But it's, nice job by Darius Wade, moving his feet in the pocket, finding his check down. Mr. Vitello coming out of the backfield, but it's going to be 4th and 3, 4th and 4. Probably force the Gold team to punt again. But you've seen the ability of BC there. Haven't seen the huge breakdowns that you saw a lot last year, Pete. But just haven't been able to get some scoring and some momentum. They've moved the sticks, which is a good sign. Now the next sign you kind of want to see is getting in the end zone or getting into the red zone where you can at least get some points out of it.
Well, that was a big adjustment even for the coaches during the spring. Was when they got to the 20-yard line, they became overly maybe cautious, wanting to call timeouts and really upsetting the rhythm of that or the benefit of your up-tempo offense. So even the coaches use the spring as a place to experiment. And but you're absolutely right. The point productivity is a little bit of a concern here with only 24 seconds left in the first stanza.
33-yard punt by Knoll. No return again. We've noticed that. All the returns have been no return, fair catches. Maroon team coming back out, being led by Anthony Brown. 24 seconds left here in the first. Ball on the 31-yard line of the Maroon team, heading towards the ComAv end zone. Ben Glines in motion. Brown takes the snap. Quick screen to Ben Glines. Little nice move to get upfield. Nice gain, chunk play. That's all Ben Glines. Like, he makes a nice catch there. They run the quick screen. We saw that a lot with Michael Walker last year. Ben Glines, big kid. He doesn't look at 6'2", 209, and with a little speed, getting the ball down the field. Nice 15-yard gain. Tempo again. The Eagles come out. Hand off to John Hillman down the left side on a stretch play, and there's nothing going there. Lucas Dennis, nice tackle coming up in support out of the secondary.
Defense asserting themselves, and it's all about penetration. When Boston College offensively wants to go to the sidelines, Eagles do a great job of just getting upfield, forcing the running back to go flat, and no gain.
Brown play action fake. Tries to throw. Nice play by Kevin Bletzer, tipping that ball as Charlie Callahan's coming on a crossing route. Anthony Brown didn't get a chance to set his feet because Harold Landry coming off the edge there disrupted that play and got in the backfield. Didn't get Anthony Brown a chance to get his feet set. Kevin Bletzer almost with an interception, but unfortunately unfortunately for him, was unable to bring that down. But that's caused by the disruption, like you say, getting penetration and heat in the backfield, and a lot of things are going to be expected from this D-line going this year.
Landry's a great story when you consider he was going to come out in the draft, and apparently the deciding factor was he went back to his parents and he spoke with the family, and he decided that getting his degree and having a representative season, a winning season at Boston College, are two things that he thought were really important. He wanted to finish the job he had started, and there's a lot of debate about it, but with operating the assumption he remains healthy and works on his skills, there's no question he's going to improve in the eyes of the NFL scouts. And possibly could emerge as an impact player in the National Football League.
There's no doubt. And that play ended the first quarter. So Eagles are going to flip it around here. You got 3rd and 11 coming out as the Maroon team now heading towards the Beacon Street end zone. Anthony Brown in the shotgun on 3rd and 11. See if they can move the sticks here and maybe get a scoring drive. But the goal defense has been up to task. Brown takes the snap, drops straight back, getting some pressure by Zach Allen. Forced to his right. Throws on the run and just misses Charlie Callahan coming down, which looked like it was obviously a broken play as he broke contain. You see scramble rules. Charlie Callahan does a nice job working in
space.
Yeah, yep. Working in synchronization with Anthony Brown on the scramble drills, trying to get his eyesight down the field. Just missed making that play. But again, when BC needs it, that defensive line, the goal team has ramped it up and getting some pressure off the edge, forcing Anthony Brown out of the pocket and not able to get on his first read. So 4th and 11, you're going to have Mike Knoll back to punt again for the 7th time. End over end punt, gets a nice bounce to get it inside the 20. Going to be down at the 14-yard line, no return.
One of the major reasons that he got my nod last year was the ability to create the long field.
I mean, he's just picking up where he left off last year, Pete. Obviously, you gave him a pep talk. You told him how much you talked about him and how much you liked him.
Front runner for MVP this year.
Yeah, he is the MVP so far, or the defensive line, you can say, with Zach Allen has had a couple nice plays, has really gotten a lot of pressure and disrupted the backfield. Been a disruption in the backfield for the Gold team. The Gold team's coming out on offense, and as we've noticed, they've been rotating guys each series. So Anthony Brown's going to lead the Gold team this time, coming with their ball on the 14-yard line, going towards the ComAv end zone. Anthony Brown pointing out the Mike linebacker to start off. Elijah Robinson in motion. First down handoff. Nice little cut by Travis Levy. to get in there. There's a small little crease, and he was able to generate a little bit out of it. And sometimes, the 1 or 2 yard gains are better than the 3 yard losses because you don't put yourself behind the stick. Sometimes 1 or 2 yard gains are actually a pretty good thing for Travis Levy there.
Still 2nd and 9, which is not optimal. Again, the Boston College defense asserting themselves. Good job of penetrating up front, which forces the back to make that premature cut. And then when the back makes a premature cut, it allows the defense, the second wave of defenders, to get into the mix and minimize the gain.
Nice play by Jimmy Martin there on the tackle, number 46, out of Florida, sophomore linebacker. Back to pass. Oh, Anthony Brown with a nice little completion to Thad Smith to move the sticks. Thad Smith does a nice job avoiding the first defender there after the catch, getting an extra couple yards as he gets upfield and out of bounds. First down for the goal team on the 34-yard line.
A little rub play.
That's right. No, yes, don't call it a pick. It's a rub.
It is a pick.
Pick is illegal and just a nasty term to use.
But it looked like a rub or a pick.
Brown back to pass, throwing deep down the left sidelines, and incomplete, intended for Thad Smith. That's one of the tough things. Throwing that deep ball to the left as a right-handed quarterback, that ball's going to take off a little on you. So he's got to be able to pull that down a little more, keep it in bounds, so at least Thad Smith can either make a play on it, but that was a couple yards out of bounds. Not really a chance to do anything with that, and you got to give your guy a chance to do something with it and give that ball and keep him in bounds. 2nd and 10. Anthony Brown in the shotgun for the goal team. Takes the snap. Stretch play to Levy to the left here. Gets 3 yards.
Yeah, but Levy, and with the way that this is working, anything they're running to the sidelines, the Eagle defense doing a very good job of stringing things out.
Been impressed with the speed of the defense, Pete, because of that ability of really stretching things out and not allowing a lot of straight downhill running styles. BC wants to do on offense, a lot of side to side. Defense gets you running side to side. They're doing their job.
But, in fact, that's part of what their offensive scheme is going to be geared towards, is to run a lot of plays, run a lot of side to side, get the defense running side to side, and that ball is intercepted. Looked like a wide receiver just gave up on it.
Tajamir Torres with the interception on the Brown pass on 3rd and long. But that interception caused, again, pressure right up the middle. Jack Kenny for the Maroon team beats the guard up front and gets some pressure. Anthony Brown's not able to step into it and throw it, and because he doesn't able to maintain his mechanics, ball sails on him, and Tajamir Torres with a nice interception return brings it to the 30-yard line. So the Maroon team is going to have great field position here on the plus 30-yard line, heading in, being led by Darius Wade. Wade takes the snap, counter play to Davon Jones, hits a big hole, breaks it into the secondary. Huge gain, 23-yard gain. 23-yard gains for Jones. That is, the staple counter tray play. Great pull and great block by Corey Badrizi. Great job kicking out the defensive end and creating a huge seam for Jones. And Jones just gets up in that hole and gets up down the field and makes a nice run. 1st and goal at the 9, handoff to Jones again. He buries his head for 3 yards to get to the 6-yard line for 2nd and goal for the Maroon team. What a hole there on that run by the offensive line.
Caught the defense in a bad scheme. It was a perfect play to be called when the type of scheme the defense was running, and then great execution across the board.
Wade with the handoff to Jones. Jones breaks it outside and gets in the end zone for a 6-yard touchdown for the Maroon team. Nice bounce by Davon Jones and a good job running the football when his initial read wasn't there, so he was able to take the initial contact, bounce off that, and use his speed to get to the outside. And Mehdi Alatrack was trying to make a tackle there, and Davon Jones used a nice stiff arm to break himself free and get in the end zone for the Eagles.
Yeah, Mehdi was mismatched physically, unable to really get a good lick. He had to be in perfect tackle position to stop that oncoming train.
Mike Knoll on for the extra point, Mr. Everything kicker, ball down, kick up. We don't even have to worry about extra points anymore now, Pete, huh?
There was a time.
Oh, there was a time. There was a time
that I don't care to recall, but you forced me to.
I know it made the rest of my hair fall out. I still have twitches when I think of Yankee Stadium. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh.
You know, Pete, one thing I've noticed here offensively for the Eagles is you've gotten a lot of back, and you mentioned this earlier, and we can kind of go into it a little bit, the tight ends. There's a lot of tight end H-backs. I mean, the BC was known as tight end university. A lot of great tight ends in the program. And a lot of my friends, I'm not going to mention their names because they don't deserve it, but Pete Mitchell, a good guy, was a great tight end that did some good things here. And BC had a lot of tight ends that played in the NFL and were a lot of big contributors. Seeing a lot of those guys kind of back here, Pete. H-back tight ends, different sizes, some smaller, some taller, obviously led by Tommy Sweeney. But we've noticed a lot of those guys catching the ball today and being, intricately involved in the offense, not just catching the ball, but blocking as well.
And Steve Adagio talked about it on day one when he got here. He said it's going to take some time to build this place. And for the first couple of seasons, he had to really play with what he had. Oh, this ball coming back here. Ball's out.
Fumble.
But you had to craft his scheme to the talent he inherited. And it took him a couple of years to begin to rebuild in areas where he wanted to. This is going to be a much more pro-oriented, up-tempo offense we're going to see next year. The tight end all of a sudden, it seems, but it really isn't all of a sudden. It's been happening over the past several seasons, is beginning to emerge and become a position of where they're going to rely on the tight end to be a big part of the offense. I mentioned kind of in passing earlier, what's the difference between tight ends in the program now as compared to the last several years, and the major difference is their ability to catch the ball. They're better receivers. They seem to be better athletes. And you can do an awful lot with the H-back tight end position when you get guys who can catch the ball.
And Darius Wade leading the goal team out here on the 50-yard line, play action fake. Looking downfield with some pressure, escapes to his left, throws it, and complete to Christian McStravac. Nice catch by McStravac to go down and get it and stay in working with Darius Wade. Darius Wade didn't get his original read. They're trying to hit a home run play over the top on play action. Nothing was there at first. He breaks out to his left and makes a nice play on the scramble. Handoff to Richard Wilson, 1st and 10 on the 30, heading to the Beacon Street garage.
Nothing.
And that is stuff. Pete, I agree with you as you mentioned that, is that you're starting to see a lot more, as what you like to call them, BC guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're starting to see these tight ends, these H-backs. BC's not always going to get those dynamic perimeter players like the Clemsons in the world get, but they can make a difference when they get guys in the tight end position like this.
The great Steve Chacchio's in the house.
Hello, Chach. Play action fake by Wade, hits Colton Cardinal. Colton Cardinal on the backfield for a nice chunk play to get the ball inside the 10. 25-yard gain by Colton Cardinal. First and goal on the 9 for the goal team. Darius Wade moving the troops here. Nice little drive. Couple nice throws under pressure by Darius Wade. Wade takes the snap with the hand off to Richard Wilson off the right side. Puts his shoulder pads down and moves the pile 2 yards for a 4-yard gain total to get the ball down to the 2-yard line. They're going to put him on the 4-yard line. Ball at the 4. 2nd and goal on the 4-yard line. Nice run by Wilson. Nice tough run in between the tackles.
Notice how quick they're back to the line of scrimmage.
Hand off to Wilson again. Right up the middle.
And
gets down to the 1. Nice tough run. Tough hard. Those 2-3-yard gains are really, really, really valuable, especially in this area of the field.
Well, we talked a little bit about the whole big picture scheme this year. A lot of outside run oriented, sideline to sideline, forced the defense to chase and not be able to manage personnel and create the fatigue factor, which is exactly what they did against Maryland in the bowl game. They ran 80 plays in that game.
That's right.
But they ran out of gas. BC ran out of gas and almost lost it in the second half.
3rd and 2, handoff to Wilson. Wilson gets in the end zone. 2-yard touchdown for the goal team. That was a solid drive by Darius Wade and the second team offense. Goal team with a nice drive, 50-yard drive. A couple nice completions by Darius Wade. Couple hard runs by Richard Wilson inside the 10-yard line. 3 tough runs by Richard Wilson. Nice to see that movement, and that's a good job up front by the big guys.
Good push up front. Starting to settle in here. In fact, Darius Wade have himself a pretty good spring game.
Yeah, he's playing pretty well. Some nice throws, and he's made the throws on the run. I like to see a little more pocket completions because that's what's going to have to win some games. But good for him to show his ability to make a play and broken play and make something out of nothing. New kicker in, Colton Lichtenberg. Nice kick, another extra point right down Main Street, Pete. I mean, we don't even need to talk about these anymore.
Let's not talk about them. You put the Maloika on there.
The Maloika, I like that. You're really going in the vault on that one.
Right. No, we don't need any. We don't need to revisit the sins of the past. It's a piece of the part of the game that it's a lot like being the long snapper or the left tackle.
Well, I did that. I did some long snapping.
I stole a year in the NFL with long snapping.
Nothing wrong with that.
But nobody knows your name until you do something wrong.
Yeah, that's usually for a bad thing. It's over somebody's head.
It's like a kicker. If you talk about PATs being routine, well, and you don't know the kicker's name because they're routine, that's a good thing. But when you know the guy's name because he misses them, that's not a good thing.
That's correct. Lichtenberg on the kickoff here. Steps into that one. 1 yard deep. No, it's not Ham Cheevers. I'm sorry. That's Tajamir Torres bringing the ball out to the 20-yard line. Does he get to the 20? No, makes it to the 19-yard line. 19-yard return by Torres. Nice, nice return there. That was a big part of BC's. Their return game was pretty good last year. They had a good job doing that. Ricky Brown's taken over the special teams this year with Al Washington going to Cincinnati. He's going to have to do some good work there to continue the momentum on the return teams. Miles Willis was a great kick returner for BC. Did a good job. So they're going to have to fill that void this year. And Tajamir Torres with a nice return there. Maybe he's going to be the main guy. And Michael Walker the year before.
Well, Ricky Brown talked about the emphasis that Steve Adazio is placing on special teams. And he said everybody, they're not assigning people jobs. They want people to volunteer. They're looking for volunteers.
Great throw here on first down by Anthony Brown to Tommy Sweeney. Quick speed out by Sweeney in between the numbers. When you can get some middle of the field presence in the passing game, really changes the offense, gives you an ability to go lateral, an ability to really stretch that defense out and not just have them boxing up everything in between. If you get a tight end that's able to make some plays in the passing game there like Sweeney's able to do, and a nice throw by Brown to get a 20-yard gain right there. Brown with a nice throw, staying under pressure. First down, play action fake. Brown looking to go deep, looking down, checks down to Jonathan Hillman, is wide open coming out. 15-yard gain by Hillman. Nice job by Brown. His first read's not there. Works 1 to 2. Uses his feet to create some space and then dumps it off to Hillman in the flat. Nice big chunk play, Pete.
He really put the defensive back, Isaac Yiadom, on an island and had to make a decision, go after the quarterback. In doing so, he abandoned his coverage, which left Hillman out open.
9 minutes left here in the second quarter. Toss sweep to John Hillman. And just like has been kind of the pattern here on defense, they stretch that play out. Hillman's not able to get upfield. Ty Schwab with the tackle, loss of 4 there.
Well, defense, when you think about it, these guys have been hitting each other 15 practices. The defense has got a little bit of an advantage when they know the plays that are going to be run. They know how to defend them. So that's outside running attack is, I think it's going to be hard to pull off against this defense.
2nd and 14. Anthony Brown back to pass and pressured by Zach Allen. And because of the spring rules, we're not allowed to hit our beloved quarterbacks. He's tackled for a 4-yard loss. Zach Allen with the sack. Now you have third and 16 for the Maroon team. Ball on their own 48-yard line. Anthony Brown in the shotgun. 5 wides. Brown gets the snap, looking down to his right. Down into the flat here to Davon Jones with a nice catch. Short gain, though. Good tackle by Isaac Yiadom. Isaac with a nice play there because he's on one-on-one coverage there. He misses that tackle. Davon Jones can break it. But good to see the secondary kind of making the tackles when they're on their own and don't have a lot of their buddies to help out. Because when you're facing those teams, the Florida States and the Clemsons of the world with dynamic personnel, they make you miss. You need to make those tackles and avoid 4-yard plays turning into 40-yard plays.
Real quick on spring, you have 15 practices. 12 of the 15 have contact. Of the 12, only 8 can involve full-fledged tackling. Of those 8, only 3 can devote more than half of the time to an 11-11 scrimmaging. And the spring game counts as one of those three. So they really softened the maybe
back when we used to play.
Back in the olden days.
3 feet of snow we'd have to walk to practice in. No shoes.
Uphill both ways.
Shoes. We didn't have cleats. We practiced on the. We practiced in the parking lot. They didn't even have a field.
Well, the field was like a parking lot, but that's neither here nor there. The old AstroTurf.
30-yard punt by Mike Knoll gives the ball back to the goal team. The goal team's going to have the ball 1st and 10 on the 15 with 7:18 left in the first half. Pete.
But when when you think about they are legislating safety into practice, which is appropriate.
But you called it soft. Is it safety or soft in your opinion?
Well,
Be honest.
It's both. It's safety and soft. But to regulate safety is appropriate. The problem with a team like Boston College, a program like Boston College, is they need defensively. They've got to work at tackling. That is something they have to do. So when you have
that first game, it usually gets ugly, right? You haven't been able to work tackling, and then on there you see a ton of missed tackles.
So they've got to really concentrate on working on good tackling techniques, which is when you only have limited contact opportunities, that's all you're doing. And I think it makes it a little bit harder on a place like Boston College where you don't have that 5-star athlete out there routinely.
That's right. Goal team comes out. Anthony Brown goes play action and is sacked for a 10-yard loss to make it 2nd and 20 on the 7-yard line. Anthony Brown under center. Draw play. Draw play to Travis Levy. Travis Levy gets upfield, gets something back, 5 yards. Past the 10 to the 12-yard line. Decent run, but still going to leave BC offense a long 3rd down, 3rd and 14. Not ideal, especially for a young quarterback to be in your own shadow of your own goal line, and now you got 3rd and 13 where the defense knows you got to throw. It's a lot of pressure for a young quarterback here. I'd like to see how Anthony Brown handles it. 3rd and 13, Brown takes the snap, drops straight back, looking down the field, throws up the seam to Elijah Robinson, and too high for Elijah Robinson to make that catch. That ball sailed on Anthony Brown a little bit.
Came right off his shoulder, very quick release, but it looked like he adjusted his form a little bit, and the ball took off. Once that ball got rotating, the nose of the ball went up and away from the receiver. No chance on a reception.
4th and long. BC in the punt formation again. On their own 10, 6:13 left in the half. Tough play for Anthony Brown. A lot to ask for on 3rd and long there as Knoll punts the ball away. Side-to-side kick. Oh, mistake. Hamp Cheevers. I want to call him Champ Heavers. Hamp Cheevers tries to make a running catch there. Fumbles the ball. Luckily, it goes out of bounds. No, they're giving it to the goal team, huh? I thought it ran out of bounds. No, the fumble, giving it right back. That's a killer, Pete. You have your defense does a great job. You pin them deep. You're punting the ball back. You're going to get the ball on the plus 50 here. Great field position, and then you fumble the ball away, and that's a big mistake for Hamp Cheevers there. But that's a young guy being put in a new position, new punt returner out there. It's not
another one of those positions that are underappreciated until something goes wrong.
That's right. That's right. So the goal team takes over. Oh, they're going to call timeout. Maroon team is not happy. Coach Paul Pasqualoni talking to Tanner Carafa going, I think we're going to need you out there on this play, son. And then he used a couple other words that I don't think we're allowed to say.
Well, that's why we don't have the coaches mic'd up.
The FDC might mind if that was mic'd up. If they happen to go, let's go live to Coach Pasqualoni on the sideline. Beep, beep, beep,
maybe
beep,
not. Maybe not.
Yeah. So the goal team's going to take over here. Timeout on the field with 6:11 left in the half. Pete, what are your thoughts so far in the first half of what you've seen defensively? You kind of as expected. I mean, the defensive line has really taken over. They've been in the backfield, creating some pressure for the quarterbacks, doing a good job of kind of stretching out the run game, not giving a lot of lanes for the running game. But yet the offense has moved a little bit, does have a decent amount of rhythm.
I think the rhythm, the speed at which BC's ripping off plays is very positive. I think also we're seeing a mature defense still has the upper hand on this young offensive line, although the offensive line, by all accounts, has improved. Now, there's an example right there of somebody missing a block, and that'll get your running back killed.
That's right. Adam Karutz with the tackle in the backfield for a loss. Tackle Richard Wilson for a 1-yard loss. Anthony Brown comes to the line of scrimmage quick, 2nd and 10 for the goal team. Play action fake. Under pressure again, Bryce Morass with pressure off the corner to cause the incompletion. Anthony Brown to rush. A lot of free rushers here in the last couple series, Pete, for the defense. Both sides, the Maroon and the Gold side.
Yeah, that's tough on a quarterback. Running a little bit of a bootleg play action, and he looks upfield and there's a gold jersey in his face.
Now, ideally, usually on some of those, you're not going to have those guys blocked. So the quarterback's job in those is you got to sell it with your head and with your shoulders to get that defensive lineman to flatten out. And you're blocking them with your fake. So 3rd and long here, Anthony Brown is swarmed under by take a pick between Bryce Morass, between...
Well, 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the other one up there? 98. They're switching. Oh, Jack Kenny. I was like, Mike Knoll. When did Mike Knoll become a defensive tackle?
MVP.
Now he's rushing the quarterback.
He's a lot bigger than he looks in his kicking outfit.
That's right. Bryce Morass and Jack Kenny on the pressure. It's Jack Kenny's fault for having the same number as the kicker. I mean, that's his own fault. He's got to switch numbers.
It's the spring.
He's got to talk to Murph and get a different number, I think.
It's the spring.
4th and 20 for the Gold team. They're going to punt the ball away again. And Hamp Cheever's back to receive it for the Maroon team. Another timeout. Haven't seen a lot of personnel issues that were some issues on offense for BC last year. It's been pretty smooth along those lines. And that's a good thing. That's something that they definitely worked on in the bowl preparation and in the spring, it looks like, getting the right personnel groups out there. And when you're going multiple sets and multiple things, that can be an issue.
Yeah, they're calling plays with the play vernacular. Nomenclature, I should say, tends to be a little long, so what they've done too is they've condensed a lot of their play calls. And in fact, in this up-tempo offense, a lot of their play calls are one word where they're scripted. So if you hear one word by position, you know exactly what your role is. The guy who's got the tough job as a quarterback, because he has to know what everyone's role is.
New punter, Grant Carlson. 35-yard punt to give the ball back to the Maroon team. 1st and 10, Darius Wade leading the Maroon team out on the 34-yard line, the minus 34-yard line. In the shotgun, Wade hands it off to Ben Glines, who flips it back to Jeff Smith on the reverse. Darius Wade out there leading the charge, blocking.
Manly.
That's not a good thing to see when your quarterback's leading the blocking. But they are the toughest guy in the field, so that is understood that he would go out and block as well as throw and get hit and all those other tough things.
Manly block right
him to do. 5-yard gain by Jeff Smith.
Oh, don't hit me.
Quick pass by Darius Wade in the flat is knocked down. Knocked down by Zach Allen. He didn't say don't hit me. He actually blocked him. He got his hands on him at least.
I was reading the body language.
So it's third and 5 for the Maroon team, led by Darius Wade. 4:39 left in the half. Seen a lot of this bunch formation in the shotgun. Wade barking out the signals, gets the shotgun snap, quick drop underneath the Ben Glines. Throws a little behind, but nice catch by Glines.
Yep.
He's impressed, Pete. He's a big kid. I didn't think he was as big as he is.
And he's surprisingly fast.
He's got some jets.
Got some really good speed.
I follow his father on Twitter. He's a nice guy. So, Mr. Glines, if you're listening, your son's having a pretty good game so far. It's a nice catch there. I didn't know he was that big because you look kind of small on your Twitter profile. 1st and 10 for Darius Wade on the 43-yard line with 4:11 in the first half left. Wade with the play-action fake, looking to go deep to Jeff Smith, who is open, but that ball is underthrown. Smith comes back to make the catch. Makes Will Harris miss. Pushed out of bounds here at the 7-yard line. Underthrown ball by Darius Wade, but a great job showing the maturation process of Jeff Smith as a receiver. Last year, I don't know if he does that. Ball is underthrown significantly. Jeff Smith comes back to get the ball right over Isaac Yiadom to make a big play, get the ball inside the red zone. It's now 1st and goal on the 8. Handoff to Davon Jones off the left side, puts his pads down for a physical 3-yard gain.
Great job there by Smith of adjusting to the ball, and I'm not sure that ball wasn't purposely underthrown because the defender was over the top and the other defender was inside the hash. The ball thrown underneath to the outside of the hash. So maybe underthrown purposely. 2nd
and goal on the 6. Handoff to John Hillman right up the middle for a touchdown. Great hole up there created by Chris Lindstrom, who you're really starting to see Chris Lindstrom's maturation. I mean, he had to play as a 258-pound freshman. He's a 300-pounder now. Look at those arms and those legs. That's the benefit of a couple years in the program and the training table where they're able to throw a couple pasta and a couple chicken parms down there.
He's got the nasty factor. He's one of those guys you watch on film. He finishes blocks. And that means you get into a block, you get your fit, you move your feet. The ball's maybe get 50 yards away, but you're still engaged with your defender, and you go till the whistle blows. And the whistle blows, the defender finds himself on the ground.
Yeah, nice. Kick is up is good. The Maroon team now takes the lead 14-7 over the Gold team, and that was a Jeff Smith drive right there. Jeff Smith makes a great catch. From an underthrown ball by Darius Wade. Nice to see him doing that, really. I mean, with the speed he has, he's a game changer in the speed department, something on the perimeter, and he's also 6'1", Pete. Yeah, you got two guys that have been really stood out on offense. Ben Glein, 6'2", and then Jeff Smith, 6'1", and guys that can run. You get some big guys on the perimeter. That's a nice weapon, a nice luxury to have for a quarterback, is that you get some size and guys that are able to go up and get the ball and make a play.
That's the thing, is the ability to go after the ball. And the thing about Smith is he's got all the potential in the world. Swallowed hard, took one for the team, ended up moving from the quarterback position to the wide receiver position, played last year. We saw flashes of brilliance. Had a lot of drops last year. Huge improvement this spring in his ability to hold on to the ball. And he's beginning to really understand the position and see more than what his route is, be able to understand the concepts of the offense. And he's positioned to have a breakout season. And we talk about the evolution of the passing game. Yes, you're better at wide receiver in terms of your skill sets. You're faster. The tight end position seems to be improved. Guys are better receivers. But you still have to have a delivery mechanism, which is the quarterback.
Gold team takes over on their own 40-yard line. Darius Wade under center. Counter action to Travis Levy. Travis Levy gets upfield for a short gain of 2. 3:12 left in the half. Gold team maybe seeing a little tempo here. I mean, you've seen some. It's almost like the old Cincinnati Bengals sugar huddle, Pete, right? On the ball, not like on the ball like those true spread teams with the signs and the pictures of us. You know how the teams had pictures of us up there last year?
Yep.
2nd and 8, Wade in the shotgun, takes a snap, looks for a quick drop, slant route. That's Smith. Broken up by Tajamir Torres. Nice play by Torres to come over the top and knock that ball down. Would like to see Thad Smith there use his body to kind of make the defender go through him instead of kind of giving that defender an opportunity to go over the top and make that play. You got to get long, would like to see him reach his hands out there and go catch that ball with his hands. 3rd and long, Wade rolling to his right, throws a strike to Elijah Robinson for the first down.
Yeah, Wade rolling right, left-handed quarterback, remember. So threw that one right on tempo. Good strong arm, good pace. Now you're starting to see this offense begin to open up a little bit.
Wade in the shotgun, rolling to his right again, finds Colton Cardinal, who dives and just misses making a nice catch. Now, ideally, I think there's a decent throw. Colton Cardinal is a tight end, H-back kind of guy, as we've been talking about. Probably, if you see a wide receiver there, may be able to make that play. Darius Wade's got to put that ball on him a little more, give an opportunity to make that play. Instead, he throws it a little too out in front of him where Colton Cardinal has to make a diving attempt. 2nd and 10 for the Gold team. Darius Wade under center, takes a snap, hands it off to Travis Levy up the middle for a short gain of 2.
Still running the ball, but big difference in terms of the amount of passing that is in their thinking at this point.
Yeah, you've seen them throwing the ball a lot. And again, right here, Elijah Robinson with a nice catch as Darius Wade comes rolling to his right. A lot of, what I've also seen a lot of, moving the quarterback around, whether it's bootleg, whether it's semi-roll, whether it's, complete rollout, not giving one static point for the defense to focus on. And that's what you have to do versus good pass rushing teams, Pete.
Well, you slow them down. They've got to cover more of the field. It was a good run.
Handoff off the end by Richard Wilson for a 15-yard touchdown. That was a great run by Wilson. Found the seam right there off the right side and got his pad squared. And he didn't get touched on that one, Pete. Even in the thud aspect of it, didn't even get touched. So the Gold The Gold team with the touchdown to hopefully tie the score up here with the extra point looming.
Well, they poked a hole in the fence. That's what you got to do. Boston College had spread it out. They had 7 in the box. Got good blocking at the point of attack, and when you get that many people in the box, there's nobody in the secondary, which was the case there. So it was off to the races. He just broke the plane, split 2 defenders, and in the end zone.
Nice drive by Darius Wade again. That's back-to-back scoring drives for him. He's looked pretty good. Made a couple nice throws on the move. Now, Pete, we kind of touched on this a couple plays ago, but when you're facing a defense like Boston College that gets up the field and penetration is a big issue, why do you want to see a lot of on offense, a lot of rolling and moving the quarterback around?
Well, it forces the defenders to respect outside the tackles, and if you get a quarterback who's just going to typically go to a spot, they talk about Tom Brady, move him off the spot. Mm-hmm. Well, if the spot's always moving, it makes it harder on a defender because you get an athletic quarterback who can put pressure on the edges, and when they get out there, anytime they're outside the numbers, there's always a run-pass option. So it slows everything down. It forces those end guys, the wide guys, to be more respectful of the field.
Maroon team takes over, led by Anthony Brown. 1st and 10 on the 40. Pass knocked down by Zach Allen. He's had 4 of those today, I think. Minute 58 left in the half. It also helps the quarterbacks when you do that. It clears up the reads. Because when you're in the middle of the field, there's a lot of combustion and a lot of clutter right there. But when you get out on the perimeter and you're able to get a little clearer view of things, and it's able to give your reads a little more clarification. Brown takes the drop, going deep, trying to throw down the left sideline for Jeff Smith. Knocked down by Lucas Dennis. Lucas Dennis making a nice play on the ball, turning his head.
Yes, which was a big issue a year ago until about midseason. Defenders weren't turning their heads looking back for the ball, and a lot of them were old bad habits that Jimmy Reed and his defensive coaches had to really work on breaking.
3rd and 10 for the Maroon team on the 40-yard line. Anthony Brown in the shotgun, flanked by Davon Jones. Jeff Smith in motion to the left. Brown quick screen to Jeff Smith, who tries to get up the field, but is stopped. With a nice play by Ethan Tuckey, sophomore, with a nice tackle. Way to get out in the perimeter and make a tackle in space there. Good to see another young guy. Ethan Tuckey, I think he came in early as a freshman. Didn't he come in mid-year last year?
Yep. Got ahead of the curve.
And he made a nice play there, getting upfield and a solid tackle. Even though he did come in, he did redshirt last year. Another luxury. Like to see some redshirt freshmen getting some live game reps with an opportunity to do something here, Pete. And you're seeing a lot of the youth over the last couple years that has matured, gotten bigger, stronger, and faster.
Well, there's a lot of fellas right now who have gone on, graduated from Boston College that never had the benefit of a redshirt year because of out of necessity. When Steve Adagio arrived here, there was a mass exodus of upperclassmen for one reason or another, whether they left under their own devices or were encouraged to do so. It didn't matter. There was a big void at the top of the house, so to speak, and he had no choice but to put people in the lineup early, and never had the benefit of taking advantage of that 5th year.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about guys like you'd have Matt Milano back, Kevin Kavalak.
Yep.
You'd have a lot of guys contributing on defense that would be back. Even John Johnson would be back. Grant Carlson with a 45-yard booming punt. Turned it over nicely. Fair catch.
He's in the hunt for MVP.
It could be. 1st down for the goal team on the 20-yard line with a minute left in the half. Anthony Brown leading the goal team. Pass intended for Thad Smith is knocked down. A lot of tip passes today, Pete, on both sides. The Maroon and the goal team have had a lot of passes knocked down. That one was Kevin Cohey, I believe, right?
Adam Karutz.
Oh, Adam Karutz, excuse me.
Big cat.
He's a big fella. Goal team under center. Brown with the shotgun snap, drops it down. Travis Levy on a nice little angle route coming out of the backfield. Tackled for a short gain, but now you're going to see a little tempo here because time running out. 50 seconds left in the half. Anthony Brown leading the troops out on 3rd and 5. Need to move the sticks here. Brown in the shotgun, takes the snap, looking to his left. Under pressure again, rolls to his right. Going to tuck it and run. Gets outside, gets the 1st down, doesn't get out of bounds. but moves the sticks. He was followed closely by Doug Rodier. Doug Rodier forces him out of bounds.
Did not get the first
down.
He
did not get the first down.
That's stud.
I think he would have got that. I mean, in real football, right?
A lot of discretion here. 4th down, 24 seconds left. Back to pass, over the top. Looking for a receiver. Teardrops it. No.
Out of bounds. Again, he's had some, Anthony Brown has had some issues throwing deep to his left. The 3rd time that he's thrown the ball out of bounds. That's just kind of refining some mechanical things that he needs to work on. That's something he could work on in the summer with these guys, kind of on his own, with the ability to do something like to work on throwing the ball to the left. It's different than throwing the ball to the right with the football the way in which it is. It's a kind of a refined thing that you work over and over again. But you have seen Anthony Brown willing to throw the ball down the field and take some chances and get some shot plays down there.
You mentioned you're working on this summer, and there's no rest for the weary. The BC breaks it up into 2 5-week summers, where half the team will go home the first 5 weeks and half will stay here, take classes, continue to work on their skills, and then after 5 weeks they swap out. The kids who stayed go home, the kids who went home come back in, so they get there's a continuation of skill development, and they really don't get much time off at all. This is
full-time job, Pete. Everyone likes to talk about that.
12 months a year.
It is not 20. It is not a 20-hour job. People think that it is just because that's the practice time. They're mistaken in the time and the commitment it takes for these guys. And they're going to run that 7 seconds off the clock and take this to halftime. So we're now at halftime of the spring game, the Jay McGillis spring game. 14-14. Maroon and the gold team tied. Otherwise, the Bears are winning. And
a good time to talk about what lies ahead for the Eagles. Schedule is out.
Also, they're going to presenting the Jay McGillis Memorial Scholarship, which is always presented to a defensive back, usually an upperclassman. This year's winner is Isaac Yiadam. Senior defensive back out of Worcester, Massachusetts.
I love it.
Doherty Memorial High School.
Keeping another kid close. And appropriate. McGillis was a Brockton boy. Now, Worcester. Love it.
Welcome to Worcester. Congratulations to Isaac Yiadam and his family, McGillis family. What a great tribute to them and to their son, Jay McGillis, who left. It brings us to halftime, Pete. We're going to do do you want to do Abbott Costello? Who's on first?
Who's on first? Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about we can take a little break, but I was going to talk a little about the schedule. It's out. Boston College starts Friday, September 1st. Northern Illinois Huskies up in DeKalb, Illinois. So
you ever been there?
I have. It's really not a good place.
Okay.
Is there
anything fun to do? What are we going to do Friday night?
I think we'll probably maybe drink some craft beers. But followed by Wake Forest here at Boston College, a game that would be, these first two are critical. And then Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, here at Boston College on Saturday, September 16th. And, there's no reason, an optimist would say BC's got a shot at all three of those. But it makes it very important that first game on the road. Look at the effect the Georgia Tech game had on last season. The Eagles they scratch and fight their way to a bowl eligibility at the end. Had they won that game at Georgia Tech, I think it would have been a much different set of circumstances. Then, of course, the national champions and Clemson Tigers at Clemson. Then we get the Central Michigan Chippewas here at Alumni Stadium. Then Virginia Tech comes to town on October 7th. Then we head down to Louisville with the Cardinals on October 14th. And here's a new one, a little crossover opponent, the Virginia Cavaliers. We're going to go down to Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. It's a great place.
That's a great place. I have not, but I've heard amazing things about that. I'm psyched to go there.
That is a great destination. And we'll see what Mr. Mendenhall has in store for us. Then, of course, it's Florida State Seminoles are here at Boston College, a week off, and then that final stretch that looks very, I think, an optimist would look at that last stretch as a chance for BC really to make up some ground. You got North Carolina State here at Boston College. You get the UConn Huskies on the road all the way down to Fenway Park.
Oh, I love that.
And
It's our second road game at Fenway.
And then we go to the concrete sarcophagus.
Oh, God, I hate that place.
Otherwise known as the Syracuse Carrier Dome.
That's the one benefit of being the sideline guy, and then when I'm mostly shut off because Chach, our crack producer, keeps my mic down during those games. You don't have to hear me complaining about Syracuse the whole time.
No, it's all right. Just turn them off.
I know, so he does, and it is very. It's just not a very uplifting place to be in November, I guess.
That's why they have a roof.
That's right. But you look at that schedule, and you know what you don't see? You don't see Wagner. You don't see Maine. You don't see New Hampshire. This is a tough schedule for the Eagles. There is no rest for the weary here. You know, Northern Illinois is a tough team. That's a tough place to start. Central Michigan, MAC school, but still by no means a walkover game. And then your other one is UConn, which is a regional rivalry. And UConn, although they haven't been good years past, that's always a spirited game. But then you look at the ACC schedule, and then you throw Notre Dame in there. And that's going to be a tough 3-week stretch. You go Wake Forest here, which is going to open up home. Then you play Notre Dame here, and then you got to literally get on the bus and go to play Clemson. That's a tough 3-week stretch for the Eagles.
That's why I say when you look at the front end of that thing, you've got to get off to a fast start. It's that first game is so critical. It's a foundation game. It really sets the stage, and in the way the schedule falls, you look at. The fan goes, my son is a BC grad, and so when the schedule comes out, he goes, BC will beat Northern Illinois, they'll beat Wake Forest, then they'll beat Central Michigan, they'll beat Virginia, they'll beat NC State, they'll beat UConn, and they'll beat Syracuse. And I go, okay, so there's 7 wins right there. The trouble is, all those teams look at their schedule, and they say, we'll beat BC.
Right.
So
I'm sorry that I got distracted. They've wheeled out a dummy of some sort on the 30. I don't know what it is, but it's on the back of a dolly. At first it looked like a person, and then I realized it's like a clay model dressed in a sweatshirt.
It's Under Armour gear.
It is Under Armour gear, but it's creepy because it's like it's life size and it's on a dolly.
We're going to put him in the trunk of your car.
And stares at you. It's judging and staring.
And it's green.
It's weird. I don't really know what to think about that. But, Pete, I agree. And then, you get that kind of Central Michigan game that breaks it up a little bit. Then you go a nice 4-week stretch of Virginia Tech, Louisville, Virginia, Florida State. And that's not exactly Cupcake City.
Yeah, it looked a little
Virginia's down from years past, but that you're going on the road in the ACC, and they, Bronco Mendenhall's second year there, they're going to be improved. That is a tough stretch of games for BC. And you got to hope more than anything is usually what's tested at a school like BC in that stretch is your depth.
Yes.
Because you got to play more guys. You're playing physical, talented teams, and you're going to have to play a lot of snaps. So you got to keep guys healthy, or you got to develop some depth, because that's usually what happens is your depth is tested in those big physical conference games where you don't have the opportunity to have a soft game in between.
It's really a matter of it's a battle of attrition and staying healthy. What we have right now here at Boston College is special teams competition. Ricky Brown brought all this to the forefront. It's a very serious competition. This one right here it's a kickoff coverage and kickoff block drill, and the idea is the kickoff cover guy wants to be able to avoid the blocker and get between 2 cones 30 yards downfield, and the blocker wants to force him the cover guy out of his lane. But what they do is they keep very copious notes, statistics, if you will, and they post them in the locker room. They have rankings, and they have awards. So this is a big-time competition. It's a skill competition that's been going on all spring long, and so this is for Under Armour gear, your green friend. the trophy is going to be.
You get to take the life-size creepy doll back to your room.
I think that's part of it.
Sign me up for the losing team of that. Because what happens when you get up at 11 o'clock at night to go to the bathroom and that thing's staring at you? You freak out, run through the window. Next thing you know, you're all beat up because you tried to. Because some life-size doll is in your room, scares the hell out of you.
I think they're playing. I think they're competing for the gear. They're competing for the gear. So.
Okay, I'll compete for the. I mean,
and what this does is it translates to a higher level of emphasis around special teams in an area where the godfather of special teams coaching was George Allen with the Washington Redskins. He determined there's 3 ways to coach special teams. You coach 2 ways to coach special teams. You coach them so you can win games with them, or you coach them so that you don't lose games. Mm-hmm. And the emphasis is the difference is coaching to win or coaching not to lose is the difference between winning and losing. The energy for Steve Addazio is we're going to coach special teams to win games. And he absolutely believes that there's going to be a direct correlation to this emphasis on special teams in winning football games next season.
And, I don't agree with you because when you're a team like Boston College and you're playing, in the ACC, where you're competing against the national champions from last year, you got to find every edge possible because you're not going to get it with 5-star recruit talent. You're going to have talented kids, there's no doubt, but you got to find every little edge that you can. And if that's in special teams and the chase hit the guy in the life-size doll drill, then that's what you got to do. It creeps me out to see that thing out there, but I understand the whole thing and what they're trying to get to. But you do have to find those edges because that will change field position, and those things can change a game. You can beat teams that may be on paper better than you by executing here in these special teams facets of the game, whether it's changing field position, breaking a return, causing disruption on a return. You can do that.
It's Moneyball. It's statistics.
Yep, I like it.
It's all numbers. It's all about the numbers and placing special emphasis on trying to get any advantage, as you mentioned, and this is a great place for them to do that.
So, Pete, quickly before we kind of move to the second half here, tie game, everyone asks about the quarterback position at BC and who's going to be the starter. Darius Wade and Anthony Brown saw all the reps in the first half. What are your thoughts on both of those guys and how they competed in the first half? Because we're going to see some different guys here in the second half.
Well, the whole spring it's been back and forth. It came out Anthony Brown, who looked like the clear front runner early in spring. Wade made a big surge about the middle of spring, and then they went back and forth the last couple of practices. I think Darius Wade has had a much better day than Anthony Brown today, but which means it fuels the competition. And there's a balancing act too. They've got to be careful not to make a decision prematurely because the first time in a long time they've actually got depth at the position.
5 quarterbacks, listed quarterbacks on the roster,
and the ability to have 2 guys that can play. And Fadul played last year, and she had some moments, flashes of brilliance. But to have 2 quarterbacks that legitimately can run your offense is a novelty here at Boston College. So making a decision on who's going to be the guy, I wouldn't be surprised if they wait until a couple days before opening day in the fall.
From the looks of it, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't find out till the first series, to tell you the truth. But we're going to see in the second half, prized freshman recruit E.J. Perry. I imagine we're going to see some time from him. There's another gray shirt quarterback that had made it from Cleveland, Ohio, a little school called St. Ignatius, Dennis Grossell.
Is that a girls' school, St. Ignatius?
Well, no, not when I was there, but hopefully he can be a little more successful than I was here if he gets the opportunity to play. But I imagine we're going to see, maybe get to see some E.J. Perry freshman coming into play.
Wade out there right out of the box.
For the Maroon team. Maroon team comes out on their own 15, led by Darius Wade. Tommy Sweeney in motion. Wade takes the snap, going play action. Seen a lot of this in the first half. Wade, full field view, comes back to his weak side after he looked downstairs to make a big play. Hit Kobe White for a deep out cut, 14-yard gain. Nice throw by Wade. Great feet. I loved how he moved his feet into position to throw the football. That's really key for a quarterback. Your feet really take you to where you need to go. First down for the Maroon team.
Well thrown ball, hit the seam between defenders, and a good catch.
Jeff Smith in motion, fake to him. Davon Jones right up the middle for a big gain. 9-yard gain. Didn't get touched.
Looked like they caught Boston College defense in a stunt where they were trying to attack by design the edges, and they opened the middle, and a good call against the defense designed not to take that play away.
Yeah, it looked like a quick trap there. 2nd and short for the Eagles. Don't see that very often, the trade where he goes in front of the line. I don't think you're allowed to do that, Tommy Sweeney. 2nd and 1 for the Maroon team. Jeff Smith in motion. Play action fake by Wade, looking to go up top. Got some time, flush to his left, throws a check down. Nice job by Darius Wade, being able to make the play downfield. Drops it off to Ray Martin, sophomore from Bell Harbor, New York.
A good play by Martin, too. He's in there blocking protection, realizes the protection breaking down. Wade rolls to his left. Martin slips the defender and becomes an undefended receiver.
1st and 10 for the Maroon team. Wade drops back, throwing deep for Kobe White and overthrows him. You know Ray Martin from Bell Harbor. My in-laws are from Bell Harbor. That's Rockaway Beach. You ever been to Rockaway Beach?
I've not.
It's a good spot. A lot of big family atmosphere. Met Ray's parents a couple years ago when I was playing baseball on the beach with my sons. And nice family, great area there. We got a Bell Harbor. My brother-in-law's helping us out spotting here. He's doing an admirable job, Willie.
Is that
nice
part
job.
of the Irish Riviera, Bell Harbor?
Yes.
Yes, I've heard a lot about that.
Wade with a second down pass underneath to Kobe White for a 2-yard gain to give 3rd and 8 for the Maroon team with 8:40 left in the third quarter.
Do the Smythes live there?
No, that was blue collar. A lot of firemen, a lot of police officers,
My kind of
a lot
crowd.
of pubs.
My kind of
It's
crowd.
my kind of crowd. That's my people. 3rd and 8. Wade takes the snap, drops back, flushed, going to his right, throws to Tommy Sweeney. Great catch
there it is.
by pure hands catch. 12-yard gain, moves the sticks. I mean, that's what you're talking about. When you talk about a game changer, you have a 6'5" tight end, 260 pounds from Don Bosco Prep in Ramsey, New Jersey, but a hands catch, not into his body, extends his hands. That's a quarterback's best friend right there. You got that size and that ability to catch the ball. That's huge for the Eagles.
And he was well defended.
That's right. 1st and 10, play action fake. Darius Wade looking to go deep, throws a big out cut to Kobe White, out of bounds. That is a long throw for a lefty. He's going play action fake on the left side from the left hash and has to throw it all the way back to the right hash on a deep out cut. And unfortunately, Darius Wade wasn't able to get enough on it and drive that ball in, and it forced Kobe White to catch the ball out of bounds. The rain's starting to come down here at Alumni. I can hear it on the seats. 2nd and 10, ball on the 44-yard line for the Maroon team. Wade hands it off. Richard Wilson has switched teams. He's a traitor. Gone from the gold team to the Maroon team. I hate when they do that because now I don't know what's going on.
It'll happen.
All right.
The flag. The referees went quiet there for quite a while in the first half. Somebody woke them up.
That's Santa's favorite call.
What's that?
Ho, ho, holding. I'm here all week. Here for another couple minutes. Don't tip your waiters.
Make sure you have the blue plate special. Wow. But that's got...
You're welcome. Just remember that when you guys use that sometime, everybody out there.
It's got the Adirondacks written all over it.
Snap to Wade, who's rolling to his right. Intended for Charlie Callanan, and that ball's broken up by Mehdi Elatrak. Nice play by Mehdi to get in front of Darius Wade, who was rolling to his right, and as a lefty, he's got to come across his body to make that throw. That's a tough throw for him, but that's why everyone doesn't get to play quarterback.
That's why he's on scholarship.
That's right. All right, 2nd and 10 for the Maroon team as the rain falling down here at Alumni on the 25-yard line. 7:47 left in the third. Handoff to Daewon Jones on the left side.
Yeah, they really like Jones. He's a very physical downhill thumper. He's a guy that he's not going to run away from many people, but when you need 4 or 5 yards or 1 yard for that matter, he's a real go-to guy. And the other part of it is he showed us last year. He's got excellent game presence. He knows where he needs to get to move the chains.
He does a great job of getting his pads square to the line of scrimmage and doing, making positive runs. Wade back to pass, scrambles, short gain there. That should get a 3-yard gain on 3rd and 6, 4th and 4 for the Maroon team, and they're bringing out Mike Knoll for a
MVP.
field goal attempt.
Front runner for the MVP for the 2017 season. But if the kicker is the MVP, that generally doesn't mean it was a good year.
No, it's usually, if that's the MVP, then there has been some mistakes. Even if he is versatile, as you say, Pete, where he's able to punt and kick off and kick field goals. I mean, those triple threat for a kicker, I mean, that's unbelievable.
It splits him. Good kick. Well done.
Oh, boy, you're just basking in this, aren't you?
Well
I actually, the funny thing is I met Mr. Knoll in the parking lot on the way in here.
And all of a sudden, now you like him?
Well, he's a Cleveland kid, so I like Cleveland guys.
Okay.
Because I'm Midwest born and raised, although I've lived here longer now. I've officially lived in Boston now. And
you had the microchip.
Yeah, I'm officially like a Sully and a Fitz or an Okie or one of those.
You're a mute.
Yeah, amongst other things, yes, I am. But you pick up I got the accent down pat. Like I could teach those guys in Hollywood a couple thing or two.
Well, they ruin the accent, don't
they?
I mean,
wicked bad. Wicked bad. John Fadul out leading the goal team here in the second half.
Wellesley Flash.
That's right. 1st and 10 on the 35.
Fadul, a great story. Outstanding high school player. Was handpicked to go to be the next quarterback at Harvard. And
his father played at Harvard. Is that correct?
That's right.
I've met him. He's a nice fellow.
And he said, "No, I want to play D1. I want to play FBS." He came over here, and he's got the intangibles. He's got. If everybody had what he has, it's the things that you can't measure.
The little things that matter. Fadul play action fake, hits Colton Cardinal out of the backfield for a short gain, and right then and there is a perfect example. Didn't have a clean throwing lane, so he has to drop his arm down to deliver the ball. It's the little things that he did that as a true freshman. Impressive. He was thrown to the wolves, Pete. I mean, come on. No one expected him to play. Next thing you know, play, let alone he maybe even see the field. Next thing you know, you're starting in the ACC against Louisville. Fadul back to pass. That play is that intended target. Christian McStravek ball is knocked down. Nice play. Broken up by Timi Tijani. Nice play. Gives 4th down and 4 for the goal team, and the goal team is going to punt. There's a lot of tongue twisters on the roster now, Pete, which are good for us. Great for Meter because he sits in front of a mirror and says it to him the night before the game. Have you ever walked in on him doing that?
All the time. He's working in the pronunciations.
Right.
Making sure he knows how to say Teeny. What is his name again?
Tamini.
Yeah.
And
my watershed moment was when Boston College played Michigan, and Tim Biakapatuka.
Oh boy, I remember that.
Get in the game, and I could not say Biakapatuka.
It's not Tishmikma Biakapatuka. If you want to actually be, you actually want to be correct.
I can say it now, but I couldn't say it then. Tim, I was calling him.
Timi Tijani is from Greencastle, Pennsylvania. Mercenburg Academy. With a nice play, Anthony Brown going to lead the Maroon team here. Coming out, the rain is kind of picked up a little bit. A lot of people wearing the. It is raw. It looks cold. Everyone's giving us the look like it's raw. It's nice in the booth.
I think the working indoors is working.
Yeah,
is excellent.
Anthony Brown with the play action fake, trying to hit Ben Glines on a deep crossing route. It looked like the ball's a little bit wet, slipped out of Mr. Brown's hands. That was not the prettiest of throws, which leads me to believe that ball's a little slick.
Yeah, he's lost a couple of them. He's lost the handle on a couple of these balls. He's rubbing his hands on his pants. So
right, that's why you get the muff thing, Pete. That you get that hand warmer and put your hands in there, dry your hands off, so the ball is your hands are warm, and then you're able to spin the ball in the elements. I know these things. Brown, 2nd and 10, hands it off to Richard Wilson, the trader. From the Maroon team now was on the goal team. Nice gain of 6 to give 3rd down and short for the Maroon team. 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Anthony Brown in the shotgun, looking over the defense. Gets the snap. Pressure again, throws to the sidelines, out of bounds. A little spatial awareness there. Jeff Smith needs to know where the sidelines is there. He got himself in a bad position and unfortunately was not able to get his feet in to make that catch and to move the sticks on third down. Oh, that might be a catch. Go to the replay booth. Hit the booth. Josh, you in the booth through the replay? What do you think?
He's giving the thumbs up.
He says it's a catch. They disagree. Incomplete. 4th and 5.
The men with the power disagree.
The referees
punt this one away.
Yeah.
Now we're getting a little sloppy here because you got mixed matched jerseys out here, which is you get gold guys hanging with the red guys, and the red guys hanging with the gold guys. Cats and dogs are sleeping together. I think it's out of control.
The elbow bone with the knee bone. Grant Carlson with the punt. Not as good as the last one. Little short punt. It's tough for kickers when it starts getting cold and wet, Pete. I mean, the ball hitting your foot is just, it's painful.
They're right up there with quarterbacks in the bravery area. So, I mean, it's they're kind of in sequence. It goes quarterbacks, kickers, wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll eventually get the middle linebackers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. And as as we talked about, E.J. Perry coming in. Number 8. Patrick Toll's old number. E.J. Perry is freshman quarterback, 6'2", 195 from Andover, Mass, as we say it here now.
As the local
said. Perry family well known. His father is a coach. E.J.'s uncle, Tim Perry, was a standout quarterback at Harvard University, now a successful lawyer. Always good to see him on the streets when I get questioned about the Bill of Rights when I don't know the amendments. So he's always good for that. And he also was Harvard's leading tackler his senior year because he threw so many interceptions. Fact.
That'll be a little footnote.
E.J. Perry with a play-action fake, throwing the ball in the left flat to Colton Cardinal. Colton Cardinal breaks the tackle, but not the tackle because it's thud, so they blew the whistle. So short gain for Colton Cardinal. Now we're going to have the gold team is going to have 3rd and 11.
Well, see what he's got. He's going to have to go vertical here, get himself 12, 13 yards. Going to have to look downfield.
That's right. This is the test for a young quarterback. 3rd down when they know you got to throw it, and you got to throw it 3rd and long is they're ready for you. How do you handle the pressure, and how do you handle the ability to see the game as it's faster? Perry back to pass, floats one down the left sideline, and he's holding pattern with the other 2 quarterbacks who have, as they've thrown to their left, have had the ball sail out of bounds on them, not being able to make a play. So that's incomplete, giving the gold team a 4th and 12. And Coach Adazio looks like he's going to punt, which would be Grant Carlson punting again, maybe, Pete?
I believe so.
Or he's gonna say, let's see how the young fella handles this.
Apparently not.
Now he just sworn off the punting because he's seen enough of the punt teams.
3:41 left here in the 3rd. We've got 10-minute quarters here in the second half. Looks like Steve Adagio is going to hit the reset button here.
Oh, and John Fadul is a trader. I mean, when they start trading jerseys, now this is going to start getting hairy. Hopefully people's parents aren't listening because then they're going to get mad at us for calling them by the wrong name. We'll just start making up our own names.
That's never happened. Well, maybe once or twice.
Maybe once.
You got to remember, 99% of your audience isn't here watching the game.
That's right.
But we have TV.
Yeah, I know. So that's like if it's between Tim Tashmikma Biakabatuka and Ray Smith, you're definitely going with Ray Smith.
Yeah, we actually did a game with Gil Santos once a long time ago when it was against Pittsburgh. And Scott Mutrin was a running back, of course, and Mutrin ran off to the numbers, went up the sidelines, had a great game. He was talking about what a great run Scott Mutrin had, and there was a guy in a Pittsburgh hat sitting down in front of us, had a radio, he had his headset on. He goes, "Who the heck is Scott Mutrin?" Of course, it was the wrong guy.
Oh, that's all right. My parents said that too when they watched me play, especially when I played poorly. Who is that guy? I don't even know who that guy is. After the game, they gave my. They have the pins with your picture on them. I think my mom pinned it on one of the vendors. Mom, where's the pin I gave you? I couldn't. They were merciless, Scott. They were merciless.
They were always in your corner, Scott.
Right.
They were always in your corner.
Now this is when it gets hairy because you got a gold guy on the maroon team and a maroon guy on the gold team, and John Fadul hands it off to a maroon guy, but I don't know if he's on the gold team or the maroon team. But it was a nice run. for 12-yard run.
And like I said, it's cats and dogs sleeping together. This thing's gone completely out of control.
Richard Wilson on the carry. I do know that's him. Richard Wilson with a nice carry. Gets the ball again. Bounces it outside. Missed tackle by hopefully Eddie Fish, but I don't think that's Eddie Fish. So it could be a guy that has changed position. So, Mr. Fish, if you're listening, your son didn't miss a tackle, or he did. Nice run by Richard Wilson to break that outside and get a first down. 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line. Heading in, John Fadul drops back. Hands it off to Travis Levy. We've seen a lot of Travis Levy today. He kind of reminds me of a little bit of Miles Willis.
Yep, he's got a kind of a water bug style.
Right.
You know, a little upright runner, but he does little darts. But he also shows that he can get great acceleration off that cut, which good backs can do.
2:47 left in the third quarter. John Fadul sending Kobe White in motion. Play action fake by Padul. Stands in there, delivers it to Colton Cardinal, who is probably the leading receiver for BC today. Colton Cardinal with a 5-yard gain in the flat. Going to give the gold team, I think it's the gold team. The majority of the team is gold, right? So we're going with gold. So 3rd and 4 for the gold team.
Against the gold team.
Yeah. Well, kind of red too. So the gold's going to win this one. Fadul rolls to his left. Kobe White, hits him in the hands. And what did he do? The big mistake, Pete.
He took his eyes off the ball.
Because we all know you catch the ball with
your hands. Yes, keep your eyes on the ball. Look it into the hands.
That's right. So the question is, if the gold team scores versus the gold team,
I think
who gets the points?
Steve Adagio is going to make a call.
Okay. 4th and 4 for John Fadul. He's in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looking to his left. Immediate pressure, and that ball is almost intercepted.
By a gold player.
By Mehdi Eletrak.
Who's defending a gold player.
You got to admit, it's going to be tough. If you're a quarterback, like, what team am I throwing to?
Yeah.
The golds or the reds? Give me, because he's got 1 red to throw to and 2 golds. They have to have pennies at some point, right?
You'd think.
I would say. So that's 4th down pass is knocked down. Minute left in the third quarter. He's getting a lot of reps today. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Adazio either picks up the pace of this, runs the clock, or even if he shortens it. Yeah, he's going to run this down. They're going to have a fourth quarter.
I think they're going to run running time for the fourth quarter. He's seen enough.
Yeah, and with playing with Thud, they got a lot of good, valuable game reps. Now you're probably going to see a lot of the youngsters that have worked hard, and some of the walk-ons that have worked hard this spring get their chance to shine and get out there on the field. Hopefully if their parents are in the stands, get them a chance to see them play. It's always good to reward the guys in the program that do all that hard work, get a chance to get some game reps and get out there on the field. So John Fadul leading a nice drive here. I imagine we'll probably see E.J. Perry again coming for the gold team if the gold team faces the gold team again, which is interesting because then it's gold on gold.
It certainly has confused me.
Oh, I mean, yeah, at this point.
Doesn't take much, though.
I say we just call them, hopefully you just call them by the right name.
I looked, I think Meat should be a little concerned. I think this, the Wally Pipp story was appropriate.
Didn't Wally Pipp go to Ithaca College, too?
He did. He's a bomber.
I knew it.
Bomber, studied engineering.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, the similarities are there.
Yeah, well,
I can feel. You know what he's doing now? He's binge eating sweet tarts because he's nervous, or Sour Patch Kids, or some really sugary liquid type candy, or maybe a Mountain Dew.
Hey, listen, you don't get shaped like a pear without working at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It takes a lot of hard work. Pear, good shape for a fruit, bad shape for a human, but that's all right.
He's gonna kill us.
John Fadul with the handoff to Travis Levy for a 5-yard gain. 9.5 minutes left in the game. Fadul with the handoff again to Levy. Bounces it outside. Big gain. 15-yard gain. Travis Levy starting to really pay off here. He's gotten a lot of carries today for the gold team, and he stayed on the gold team. So that's one benefit for him.
Real good run. We talked about his
loyalty has paid off.
His ability to make those full speed cuts. he got to the edge, was able to make a little bounce to the outside, and no defender out there, and nice little scoot.
He's got a little speed, a little different type back than Davon Jones or John Hillman.
There's a good play by Boston College
defense. Defense took note there. Timi Tajani with a nice big stick in the backfield. Levy stopped for a 1-yard loss after that big play. 2nd and 11 for the goal team on the 47-yard line heading into the Beacon Street side. Play action fake by Fadul, a lot of space. Looking downfield, he's going to tuck it and run. And this is, one of John Fadul's strengths is his ability to run with the football. He gets a 10-yard gain to give the goal team 3rd and 2. Also, the last time John Fadul stepped on the field against Notre Dame, he tucked it and run and tried to run over a Notre Dame defensive back, and that
didn't work out.
No, that put him in concussion protocol. 3rd down pass, nice catch, and nice move by, I think that was Troy Flutie that made that catch.
Troy Flutie with a catch and a move.
Yeah, and a move to get the 1st down for the Eagles. Nice pass by Fadul.
Yeah, Flutie finding his identity at wide receiver.
1st down, move the sticks for the goal team. Fadul looking over the defense. 1 back set, hands it off. This is not right. I know it because it says it's Hamp Cheevers or it's Darius Wade, and it's not Darius Wade because they're not going to have him running the ball. So it's somebody who's number 4 that's not number 4 but is playing as number 4. And number 4 again gets it, and it looks pretty good running the ball. Maybe it is Hamp Cheevers. Yeah, see, he doesn't get it either. The public address guy's struggling too.
Yeah, he's throwing his papers
No, because, Hamp Cheevers is right there.
It's a dirty trick.
We got to find out who it is.
He's calling him Hamp Cheevers.
I hear you. Travis Levy in the backfield now. At least we know him. They need to pay it. He needs to pay it off. He's been on the goal team. He's had some good runs. We know his name. He gets the ball. Stretch play to the right. Nice cut. Gets upfield. Tackled by Adam Kuratz. Nice move. Gonna have second down and 4. Nice drive here by the goal team, led by John Fadul, junior quarterback out of Wellesley. Oh, nice cut by Levy. Was in the backfield. Was stuck in the backfield. Bryce Moraz had a play on him.
Yes.
And just got left in the dust there.
He's tackling ghosts.
That's a swing and a miss. 2nd and 10. Oh, they give him a couple yards. See, this is the problem with Thud is because they put it out. They give him a couple yard gain there, I think.
Overly subjective.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, they did give him the 1st down, so now it's 1st and 10 on the 12-yard line. John Fadul under center. Play action fake, looking for Colton Cardinal in the flat, gets him the ball, pads down, runs over
Cardinal wanted
Tajamir Torres. Hold on, that was 34. Timi Tajani was on the receiving end this time. He had a big hit earlier. Colton Cardinal said, "Not in my house," and put his shoulder down.
Cardinal wanted a touchdown.
Yeah, Jack Galvin with the tackle there for the Maroon team. Handoff to Travis Levy, gets down to the 1. 2nd and goal on the 1 for the gold team. Number 4, who is not really number 4, but is number 4 right now with the carry. And handoff to number 4. Stoned in the backfield. Big hit.
This is where Thud really is ineffective down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, nice tack by Jack Kenny and Adam Karutz. Nice play. It's going to have 3rd and goal, and now it becomes, they're bringing in big guys. It looks like this could be a one-on-one situation. Jeff Smith coming in to play. Oh, no, they're going to kick a field goal. I thought they were going to go a different package here, but they're going to kick the field goal here. Colton Lichtenberg going to be kicking. He started out as the kicker last year, right, Pete? And then he missed that kick against Georgia Tech in Ireland.
Got hurt. He got a deep groin pull, and it hampered him all year, which was really paved the way for the MVP.
Right, and I'm sure you've had groin pulls before. That's a painful injury as a kicker to come back from, and it really limits your mobility.
Deep groin. No, they're no fun.
So nice kick by Lichtenberg there to get back. Public address announcer asking us who the guy number 4 is, and we don't know who it is. So we don't know. So the goal team with the field goal ties it up at 17. 3:50 left. I think this is going to be last possession probably, and it's going to be golds on golds. E.J. Perry going to lead that team out there.
All right,
so who wins?
I just found out that number 4 is John Hillman, disguised as a gold player, where he was a maroon player earlier in the game. They moved him to the gold team, and he's wearing jersey number 4. So we got some we got some
It
clarification.
didn't look like him when he took his helmet off. Sure, I mean we'll go with it as long as like number 4 is like not going to be mad if we say his name wrong,
I don't think so.
or like be upset with us that we didn't give him proper due. We didn't score, so I guess we didn't do that bad of a job. Oh, number 11, Dennis Grossell, leading the goal team out. Dennis is a mid-year enrollee, as I mentioned, from St. Ignatius High School in Cleveland. Good kid, good family.
Got that quarterback swagger going.
Yeah, got a little shoulders back.
Kind of the Duke-esque.
That's not nice, Chach. It was heard. Mean-spirited as well.
This is all designed so everybody gets a trophy. 17-17 tie.
Wait to see what happens here. Who's going to 258? This is. Oh, they look like they're bringing out some of the other guys here in the Maroon team. This looks like it's going to potential to be a disaster because it looks like we're going to have a clean mix of gold and red players playing against each other, which is a logistical nightmare.
Which is now you got it's Nirvana. You can actually
Smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. Smells like boiling hot dogs, actually.
It does kind of smell like boiling hot dogs. Now that you mentioned that. I could go for a hot dog right now.
Ah, see, you planted that thing.
Remember what we got delivered in Ireland?
Yes, we did.
By Meter Perel's father-in-law, who's added. He bought for us more beers than Meter has bought for us in the 5 years that I've worked with him.
And I was joking. Bring 4. He brought 4.
Dennis Crusoe with the handoff.
4 pints.
Yep, 3-yard gain. And they're rotating. They're bringing in E.J. Perry. You're all right, Chachi. He left you out. Travis Levy with the carry.
He still hasn't forgiven me.
Yeah, that was.
He came all the way up. Where's my beer? I said I drank it.
It was good though. They make them well there. They know how to pour. They know how to pour a Guinness in Ireland.
They're very good at it.
Yes, pour. Yeah, can you believe that Meter's father-in-law has bought us more beers than 5 years I've worked with him?
Yeah, I believe it.
I think he's got dust in his wallet when he opens it up. Have you seen it? Have you
I've
actually
never
seen him open his wallet?
No.
I don't think I've seen him open his wallet. E.J. Perry in, takes the shotgun snap, crawl, quick slant route intended for Christian McStravick, and that's incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 5. 2 minutes left in the game. Rotating quarterbacks now for the goal team. Dennis Grissel is coming back in. You know what I do like, Pete, is when they're talking about us, they call us the talent. It's so flattering, isn't it? If they only knew.
Get over it.
If they only knew.
Yeah, talent. Talent, all right.
Dennis Grissel to shotgun 3rd and 5. Drops back to pass under pressure. Moves his feet well in the pocket. He's going to take off. Going to his left. Tackled by Mike Palmer coming up out of the secondary. Nothing open downfield. Dennis Grissel just climbs in the pocket, trying to make a play on 3rd down. E.J. Perry in 4th and 5, 1:27 left in the game. Ball on the 45-yard line, heading into the ComAv end zone. E.J. Perry back in the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back. Good protection, looking downfield. Tucks it and runs, gets the 1st down, and gets out of bounds.
They're running the old rub play.
Right, which would normally stop the clock, but when the clock is running, it doesn't stop the clock.
Because Steve Adagio's seen enough. No question about it.
Right, now people coming off the sidelines here. Oh, fake, play action fake by E.J. Perry. Looking downfield deep, and tucks it and runs, and there's a young quarterback right there. Trying to hold on a little bit longer than probably should have. Didn't really have anything. Should have either run it or tucked it away. Thrown it away. E.J. Perry with 30 seconds left in the game. 2nd and 10, couple plays left, maybe a chance for the goal team to squeak out a victory. I mean, how do you can't tie in the spring game.
Well,
Now that they say that's John Hillman, but I'm saying that is not John Hillman because I'm looking at John Hillman right there. So that's not him.
It's an imposter.
Yeah. So it's number 4 again, who we thought was John Hillman, but is not John Hillman because John Hillman is talking to Davon Jones. Coach Adazio, he's going to put some time on the clock here to get some competitive spirit going back here and a chance for somebody to win the game. He's got 2 seconds left in the game.
Big roar from the gold sidelines. Not exactly sure what the roar is about.
Well, that you know why? Because they're going to give a chance here for Colton Lichtenberg to win this game. All on the kicker's shoulders. Such pressure.
Paving the way to the MVP status.
I don't even know how he can deal with it. With the
pressure is on right now.
You can
folks.
cut the tension with a knife.
They're going to call. They're throwing a
Too
flag.
many men on the field because the entire team is out on the field. They're all lining up
well, you
to kick the field goal. They're all going to line up to make it sound like it's a.
How long is this one?
A lot more
35,
pressure.
45, 48 yard.
On the 35, so a ball
yards.
down kick is up, and that's not going to make it. That's going to be short. That's 7 yards short. So that means by reaction of the Maroon team won, although they tied because it's 17-17.
Well, that's the end of it, folks. I hope you hung on to the bitter end because it was a very exciting finish.
It was.
We saw a little bit of everything. In mute, I thought you did a nice job under the circumstances.
Pete, you were great,
well,
as always.
I try to be like you. I know I should set the bar higher, but I aspire to greatness. And we want to thank everybody who joined us for today's broadcast, whether we're listening or watching or both. And
we probably want to throw some highlights out there, Pete. What do you get coming out of this spring game? Where everyone wants to talk about the quarterback and probably the offense coming out of this. What are the things that kind of stuck with you coming out of this spring game to look forward for the season going into the fall? Kind of some things to expect or things that you saw.
Well, I think the quarterback competition continues. No definitive leader today. You saw both quarterbacks play pretty well, but no one really stepped out. Maybe Darius Wade had the edge on Anthony Brown.
I would give the edge to Wade coming out of this. I think he engineered one more scoring drive because they were rotating. He looked a little more sure, but that comes with the experience, I think.
That's right. He's older. He's got a little bit more experience, a little bit more poise. Offensive line looked as though they, it's hard to tell because this defense continues to be a bit of a juggernaut. From although they lost a few, they don't. Really, they retool now, which is a great position to be in.
Right.
They're able to develop a lot of these young players, and I just think that in the hurry-up offense, which is it's clear that that's something they're going to do. And Steve Adazio has made the statements that he would like to run. He'd like to run 80 plays a game.
Right.
And in his ability to do that, it's going to have a big impact on wins and losses next year. So
a lot of impressive things, a lot of personnel groups. You say quarterbacks, I'd probably give the edge to Wade coming out. Defensive line, I mean, they look great. They're great. There may be some depth issues in the middle of there because you lose Truman Goodapple and Kevin Kavalak, 2 big guys that were stout, solid players. But they got some talented guys there on the perimeter. They may not have the depth as last year, but the talent's going to be there. Defensive line. I think, a couple guys that stood out to me. I think that this spring is always a good kind of opportunity to see that. I thought Ben Glines looked like an impressive player, 6'2", with some speed and some good hands. Could be valuable. I mean, Tommy Sweeney was really kind of stood out on.
Smith actually, he made a couple of plays that he may have not made last year.
Right.
So, the maturity is beginning to emerge, and collectively, I think you're going to see a better product. I think you're going to see a better product for Boston College. Steve Adazio is finally getting to a point where he can go in the direction he wants to go.
Right.
With his talent.
Well, and also I think, as you notice, offensively wise, you're able to go multiple. You're able to run power. You're able to throw the ball a little more. Because if you remember, Pete, over the last couple of years, it's either been at the beginning it was like they could throw it, but they couldn't really run it that well, and then they couldn't throw it at all. at all for that third year. They did. Then you had quarterback run when you had Tyler Murphy here a couple years ago. And then the year when they didn't have any quarterbacks because of the injuries to Darius Wade and others, where you were forced, and no depth at the position, they were forced to just make do with Jeff Smith and John Fadul at quarterback.
They lost 5 games by 3 points or less.
Right. Then you bring in Patrick Tolzien last year, a fifth-year guy who played the majority of things. And Patrick could throw it, and he could run it all right. But these, like Anthony Brown and Darius Wade, are different mobile quarterbacks. They're a little more, I think, side-to-side quickness. I think a little more ability to extend plays with their feet. Like Patrick Tolles was fast and big, but he wasn't like speed changing that way, right? And then big strong arm. But you're getting to see guys like Darius Wade, who is working his progressions. I was impressed with both quarterbacks and their ability to work the progressions in their reads. Definitely a little. Not as smooth as you would like it to be, but there's room to grow. A lot of reps for these guys in the spring and coming in the fall. I think you'll see different quarterbacks when they come back here in the fall after all that work. Offensive line-wise looked pretty good. I mean, you had some different guys playing. John Baker didn't play at all this spring. Connor Strahan, you saw some young guys on defense that looked pretty good. I thought Kevin Bletzer had a good game.
Sure.
He played very well. He was in the mix at the Sam linebacker. Ty Schwab, kind of an unsung guy, I think, for that defense. Led him in tackles last year. Wasn't really talked about a lot, but I thought he had a good game today as well. The defensive backs played well.
The stud,
right?
It's very hard to draw any conclusions on defense because it's stud. But all in all, I think Steve Adagio got a lot out of the spring. And it really sets the table. I said it in the open. This is halfway point in the preparation for the 17 season. 133 days to the opener. And the big news, the big question for me is when's the Hope Solo rally? Are you going to have a meeting this week?
Well, she's not on the team anymore.
Very disappointing.
I know. That was tough. That was a tough one to deal with. The one cool thing is the end of the spring game here is they divide the position groups up and allows the fans to come down and get some autographs. So it's a real special. I actually enjoy this. I actually enjoy this as a player because it's a great way to interact with the fans. You get to see the people that were booing you when you stunk and asked you, what were you doing on that third down play?
It wasn't me.
And I was like, well, that was Pete's fault.
Yeah, always blame Pete. Well, we're getting the rap sign mute. I want to let you know it was great working with you. The Wally Pipp story prevails. Good luck with the Hope Solo fan club, and we'll see you.
Good luck in the drive back to Maine.
Memorial Day weekend. Labor Day weekend.
Can't
Labor
wait.
Day. Yeah.
Enjoy the summer. Maybe we'll spend some time to run into each other this summer.
We'll look forward to it.
And send some electronic mails back to each other or something like that.
We can have a few laughs. Why not?
That would be lovely. Well, all right, great game. And the final, 17-17. The Maroon tied the gold.
Everybody gets a trophy.
That's the big high five for BC as a program, and congratulations to everyone getting out of this healthy as well. Good job for the BC program and a great spring game today. Happy that everyone that could join us here at Alumni Stadium.
Thank you, everybody, from Alumni Stadium. The 2017 Jay McGillis Memorial Spring Game comes to a close.